It's a world you know really well. We think about the FTX collapse, the bankruptcy proceedings today, the coming undone of Sam Bankman-Fried. You know, you have been buying into some of the different names in the crypto space, Coinbase, Grayscale, Bitcoin Trust. Why should investors trust crypto? Why do you trust crypto at this point? Why do you trust crypto at this point?
We're winning, folks. One of the many ways, right here. That's a great question just asked there to Cathie Wood, who runs ARK Investments. She's heavily invested in emerging technologies such as crypto and also electric cars via Tesla. Indeed, Cathie Wood, Tesla, crypto, all of it seems to be tied into one. And one of the legs of that stool is collapsing. That's the Bitcoin crypto arena. So what does Cathie Wood think about prospects for Bitcoin as we go forward, eh?
Assuming, Cathie, that you're going to hold to your Bitcoin forecast for, $1 million per coin by 2030, that still feels good to you?
Yes, and you can, sometimes you need to battle test, you need to go through crises to see the survivors, first of all, but really to battle test the infrastructure and the thesis. And again, we think Bitcoin is coming out of this smelling like a rose.
See, it's all good. Absolutely nothing to worry about. The whole crypto space is smelling of oops. Wrong image, sorry. But the reality is this crypto space has been funded by intel agencies, New World Order. It's a completely NWO creation. And it makes you wonder how far this spreads, because Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried is just wandering around Bermuda now like a bird. He's free as a bird. How is that happening? Meanwhile, somebody's starting to cash out 500 mil that went missing. How is that happening? Surely everybody's all over this, locking this thing down, protecting the investors. How could it be that the dude has yet to be even arrested? Why? Well, because the cleanup operation has to go away. The cleanup operation has to go on. That's why. And we're going to clean up this mess before too many people find out too much. And maybe then we can get around to arresting Mr. Sam Bankman-McAfee. If you get my drift. So, yeah. This is their apparatus, folks. And they were tied together. Cryptocurrency, Tesla, Elon Musk, Cathie Wood, and that's all imploding right now, no matter what they do. I said months ago it was a smart move for Elon to move out of the car market and into something else. By the way, I don't notice a lot of people who speak up about the Miley Cyrus being reactivated on Elon's new Twitter. But anyway, the collapse of that whole ecosystem, which was really just a lure to take people away from gold and also a way to act as an on-ramp to central bank digital currencies. Well, that's all imploding right now. Good news, and another way we're winning. Here's more. The climate scam is imploding. From today, Germany loses patience with climate extremists. Well, hey, who hasn't? But hey, even in Germany, they're losing patience with it. Radical tactics failing to win over the masses. A red line has been crossed. One member of the German parliament said when it emerged that climate activists managed to break into Berlin airport on Thursday to disrupt flights for about 90 minutes. While previous coverage of such incidents included supportive voices, this time the radicals have lost just about all sympathy, even in a country as keen to be green as Germany. Politicians from all across the spectrum, climate experts, and even the Green Party itself have now distanced themselves from the protests. And of course, that is such a disappointment for the World Economic Forum, for the Davos agenda, and for Klaus. It's very bad news, because people may be starting to making them figure out what it is that maybe cryptocurrency is imploding, and maybe also the climate scammy thing is imploding also. So this is very bad news for Klaus, and it's very bad news also for his good buddy here, Xi Jinping, Klaus and Xi Jinping, they're meeting to discuss the Davos agenda because, meanwhile, another way that we're winning, folks, it just keeps going on. China protests, you've heard about that, spreading all across the country. Indeed they are. We want freedom, they say, and what a piece of good news that is. What a lesson for the international elites to see that even in China, with all of the ability to stomp down on public expressions of discontent and all the apparatus of control which Klaus has wet dreams about at night, still cannot stop the people. Another way that we're winning. And related to all that bad news for the NWO is the issue of oil prices and how that really was the stake in the heart of the climate agenda as people woke up to energy security issues and the fact they were having to pay for this really big time in the price of energy. That's the moment when they began to connect the dots and target politicians, and that's been a problem. Also, it seems as if the BlackRock greed of CEO Larry Fink, the world's largest investment company, has actually shot itself in the foot. And here's why. It was a few years ago that Larry began, on behalf of his good friend Klaus Schwab, to try to strong-arm companies around the planet into ESG, environmental, social and governance. This is a tactic whereby you may not agree with these ideas, governments may not agree with these ideas, but by using the power of the world's largest investment firms, companies and corporations could be strong-armed into it. That was the plan, that was the whole idea, and even 2 years ago, Larry was already running into some flack on this whole idea.
We're using now more renewable energy in the United States than coal. That's continuing to do that. We look at that as a good thing. So we are responding to our clients' wishes where they want our money, where they want their money to be placed.
Larry, you're also taking a lead role yourself. You even point out that you've identified 244 companies that are making insufficient progress integrating climate risk into their business models. We took voting action against 53. Yes. So you're actually you're doing certain things as an activist, and I'm just wondering whether that's an appropriate role for you. Would you?
Yeah, makes you wonder why Larry isn't out there gluing his fingernails to the tarmac like the rest of the activists, because he prefers to let the money speak. Problem is kickback. Well, there's been a lot of pennies have dropped and people have started to figure out that this whole ESG thing means constantly accelerating inflation because it will increase costs. And we already have a problem with inflation, we have a problem with growth, we have a problem with debt, we have so many problems, and now we have interest rates going up. And they're going to stay up. And Larry's ideas are just going to drive them higher. So quietly, a lot of companies have been failing to comply with Larry, and overtly, US states have begun to ban implementation of Larry Fink's ESG and Klaus Schwab's Great Reset. Another of the ways that we're winning. Tough luck, Larry. So the plans, and he has an ESG index fund and ESG 2025 funds and strategies and insights. Yeah, they're heavily invested in all of this. But tellingly, some really bad moves were made by BlackRock. You see, BlackRock's been involved, and you see this, Ministry of Economy signed a memorandum with the world's largest investment company. Ministry of Economy of what? Of Odessa in Ukraine. Yeah, Larry was over there in Ukraine, and he was signing up deals with the Ukrainians to, sort them out in their funding. Here he is having a nice little Zoom up there with President Vladimir Zelensky as they discuss the future of Ukraine. This is the disaster capitalism which has been practiced, where you destroy a country, invade it, and they get them sign them up to rebuild the place, except now they owe you the vig on the loans. And so, yeah, you win by getting rid of a load of armaments that you now have to replenish, and you get yourself a nice steady income from the people you've gone to help. So the problem is, as they played this little game and as Larry got involved in this, well, wasn't it blew up really, didn't it? Because the whole energy thing is part of the dynamic which has driven the rejection of the climate change agenda. I mean, if they hadn't been so greedy going after Ukraine and playing the geopolitical games they're playing, if they hadn't included that in there, they could have got away with the ESG. They could have got away with the whole thing if a lid had been kept on the entire economic melting pot that's really about to implode. But they didn't. They blew it, and the greed has now scuppered ESG. And moving right on to another way that we're winning, seemingly not that big story there about a mediation going on between Turkey and the US essentially to try and prevent a wholesale assault on the Kurds by Turkish forces. Iranian also saying that they're going to target the Kurds as well. Why? Well, because the Kurds are a proxy force for US interests in the region. And the flip by Turkey is now fully complete. Turkey is ostensibly a NATO member and ostensibly on our side and prepared to keep us happy and keep us in the corner. But Turkey, with its new Turkstream connection to Russia and its new role in Russian eyes as a vehicle for transporting Russian energy into southern Europe, bypassing Ukraine, smart move, is now fully flipped. Turkey's now flipped. And Turkey, Russia, Iran, I mean, who important is not in the anti-NWO global alliance now? Well, the loss of Turkey, a pivotal country at a pivotal position between East and West, between North and South, between cultures and trading zones, has flipped against the New World Order. And the implications of that are dire. There's no way back now. It's all over. The tipping point has been passed when it comes to Turkey, as in other areas. This is yet another way that we're winning, folks. Winning, yet again. And finally, let's just take a little check on how things are going with the old free speech thing at Twitter, you know. This was sent by Justin Hart to Elon Musk, a few days ago, a week ago or more. A review, it says 100 accounts here which are suspended, banned or closed because of their tweets on COVID-19. And as you see when you hover over somebody's name there, they pop up, right? So we'll hover over some of these names. Accounts still suspended. Still suspended. Oh, that one's back. Omnipotent Moral Busybody is back. COVID analysis still suspended. Am I surprised? Not really. Nature Works Best is back. Seems to be cancer treatments. Nick Hudson, still gone. Still gone. Greg Piper, back. Still gone. Mike Eden, definitely still gone. Scott Atlas, that doesn't link. Rebel A. Cole, still gone. Still gone. Donald Trump back. You see, that's what he did. I mean, Donald Trump was never going to come back. He knew that. He knew that. And so this is a way of trying to appear free speechy without necessarily having to deliver on it. So Naomi Wolf, still gone. Too much truth there, you see. Yeah. So I'm not too carried away with Elon Musk's commitment to free speech. Oh, there's Jim Core. I don't know if he's gone or not. I mean, some of those, like Jim Core, bless him, his heart's in the right place, but hasn't a clue what really going on. I'm at this 20-something years, folks. It's before 9/11. But nevertheless, everybody's entitled and everybody should have the chance to throw in their sixpence, and we don't see that happening. I am not buying the whole free speech idea from Elon Musk. In fact, when you think about it, it's cryptocurrency, electric cars and transhumanism. These are 3 hardcore NWO agendas, and this dude's at the centre of them all. But the good news is, the reason why Trump didn't go back is because he doesn't need him. And the reason why I'm not really that interested in going back is because don't need you, Elon. Don't need you. We suffered when the assault on free speech took place a few years back. But in the interim, we have developed robust and widespread and in many cases unblockable methods of communicating our messages. And we no longer need them. Why? Because we're winning. All right. That's it for this edition. I will be back with more very soon. Hope you can join me for that. But in the meantime, for breakfornews.com and for informedconsent.ie, this has been Fintan Dunn reporting. See you very soon again. Whoops, he's back again. Before I go, just before I was about to hit the SIG tune, I thought I'd say, the reason I give you the good news is because there's good news to give you. Be very careful of the fact that you're a market and people out there who are tracking this battle of the people versus the New World Order, some of them, many of them, have a vested interest in painting things as blackly as possible. There for yet another doom and gloom story about yet another threat to our liberties, yet another thing we couldn't possibly overcome, all to get you to come back the next day to participate in the hype, to wind you up and to generate a sense of urgency that creates traffic. Don't play those games here, folks. Says the beautiful truth up there, see? So you get the truth. That's it. See you in the next edition. Thanks for joining me for this one.